Losing ground to Islamic State fighters, Syria's government says it's ready to cooperate with the international community to combat these resurgent militants. Foreign Minister Walid al-Muallim says Damascus welcomes even the United States, which is backing Syria's more moderate opposition.
The coming few days will judge the seriousness of regional and international countries in fighting terrorism. Until now, we have not sensed this seriousness.
Getting that sort of cooperation would be a big boost for President Assad, says American University professor Akbar Ahmed.
It would exonerate him, and in a sense, it would also establish his legitimacy in the eyes of his own regime that, look, we did all this because it was necessary. There may have been some bloodshed, but it was necessary. And here is the proof that even the West, who were the biggest critics of what we were doing, even the West, the United States and the UK, have now come on board.
But acknowledging the Islamic State threat and attacking its fighters in Iraq does not make Washington an ally of Damascus, even as State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki says the Obama administration considers a range of options not limited by borders.
That doesn't mean that our view has changed of the brutality of the Assad regime and the brutality of the actions that he has taken against his own people. But given the growing threat of ISIL, it is a threat that we need to take on and work with countries in the region to do that.
Regional leaders agree there must be a broader coalition to defeat the Islamic State, even if that may directly benefit Syria's government and its allies, says U.S. Institute of Peace analyst Steve Heidemann.
The risk is that we are, in some ways, rewarding Iran, rewarding the Assad regime, rewarding the Russians for bad behavior, to the extent that the Assad regime, with Iranian and Russian support, created the conditions that permitted the rise of ISIS for the Saudis and the West to now become involved in solving the problem that those governments and those movements had a hand in creating, suggests that we are helping them to avoid the consequences of their own policies.
Center for a New American Security analyst Nora Ben-Sahel says there's some very careful thinking in Washington about the Islamic State.
The United States certainly does not want to be seen as intervening in the civil war period, much less being seen as intervening on the side of the Assad regime. So that's why we're seeing a lot of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions now starting to be flown, so the United States can get a better picture, hopefully, of what's going on the ground to inform future decisions.
U.S. military action against Islamic State fighters so far has been limited to airstrikes in Iraq, but there may be more direct involvement in a broader fight that President Obama says won't be easy and it won't be quick. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the State Department.